What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a knife review for you. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, today we are taking a look at the Giant Mouse Bleaker. Very interesting offering coming from Giant Mouse for a couple of reasons. But let's go ahead and jump into the review and we'll talk about that towards the end. Very small knife, very thin profile, very trailing point-esque blade, but thin blade stock, and it doesn't seem like it because it does have that crown spine with the Vox style jimping here in the middle, which I like that jimping, and a very interesting look to it. But they did give you a fold over steel wire pocket clip, as we'll demonstrate here. Yep, definitely steel. Reversible fold over. You got a crowned geared titanium backspacer with lanyard hole. And very simple construction. Lock bar insert is done here. I think it's more flat on the inside. I don't know why I put that flashlight away. Yeah, so the titanium goes all the way through here on the inside of that lock bar. And then on the outside is where the steel lock bar insert is. So very interesting. And then the over travel stop appears to be part of the titanium frame lock. So that is very interesting. As far as how it cut, no real surprise here. It is going through the pass around. I think this came from KC too, so I know KC does a ton of cutting with it. The edge wasn't fantastic going through the paper, but it was really good going through the cardboard. No issues whatsoever with that. And then I don't know what the heat treat is on this steel. It is Magna Cut, but it did hone and strop up very nice, and I was able to get it razor sharp and gliding through the paper so that when it gets to the next reviewer, they get a fresh edge on this one. Now, it does look like the lock bar access is going to be kind of tight, and it's weird that they did this relief cut here because that really doesn't help me because it's still blocking, but they do have aggressive jimping here, and you can disengage it okay. Better than I thought you would have been able to. Also thought this was going to be a reverse flicker. Unfortunately, because it is a relatively thin and slender knife for me personally, the only way I can get to it is if I index on the frame here and kick it out that way. But how I normally kick out these, now that is weird. That's the first time, not looking at it, not thinking about it, that I've been able to reverse flick it. Yeah, normally when I've tried to reverse flick this one, it kind of catches on the index. So perhaps because I was looking at it, not really just naturally grabbing the knife and opening it, I wasn't able to reverse flick it, but hey, on camera, able to do that. So that is going to be a positive for this one in particular. We are looking at stamped bearings. You have a stop pin construction there for the open and the close. It is a little close there in the sharpening choil. It looks like, and let me flip this over here, it looks like it's landing right about there on the blade itself. So a little bit of sharpening choil life left there, but as you can see, the plunge grind coming right down to that tip there. It's right in line with that. So I would like to see them, get away from doing it quite like that. Just give us a little bit more of a notch there. But having said that, because the stop pin is far enough back, you could notch it. You could move that notch forward, but you would need to keep it level to where the stop pin hits. So you would need to come out there and kind of notch it out and give yourself a little bit more sharpening life. Having said that, this is a gents knife. I don't really think of this as a hard use, going through the material quickly type knife. To me, this is going to be occasionally able to break a box down, occasionally able to do some hard cutting with it, hard use cutting with it. But I think this to me is really going to be more of like getting into your packages, opening some mail, cutting some loose string, even occasionally with this tip, doing some trace cutting, utility cutting, maybe breaking loose a zip tie from a package that you're getting into or something like that. So I think, that's really where I'm at with this particular design. Let's go ahead and jump into some size comparisons, and then we'll weigh the knife, and then I'll give you my score on this one. All right, first up for size comparisons, I do have my lightweights out here. So you can see this is just a little bit longer than the Para 3 lightweight due to that long trailing point blade, but definitely smaller than the Manix 2 lightweight and obviously more slender than both. So again, very gentlemanly like. Let's do a couple more. Okay, so I have a couple on here that I think would flex out of my collection into the gents carry, and that's going to be the Militol. It is a little big for a gents carry. Usually I like them a little bit smaller, but certainly I feel like the Lush is one of my gent style carry knives out here for sure. And you can see that the Giant Mouse Bleecker is more in line. I mean, it's just a little bit longer, but it's more in line with the Lush. Let's do some close profile and then we'll weigh it up. All right, so here I think is where you can really tell this is very gent-esque office type carry gents knife here, and something that I think that is going to be low profile in the pocket, very slender overall, and it is definitely very thin. I don't even think we need the Militol there to see just how thin this is. I mean, it is a very ultra thin carry. We're talking like bug out thinness. Let me grab the scale and we'll check the weight on this one. All right, scale out and on. This is all titanium and steel coming in at a very respectable 2.2 ounces. So very lightweight. This is definitely checking all the boxes for that gent style date night office type carry. Let's go ahead and jump into the score. So for me, I could look at the materials offered, the quality of the construction, and the performance of the knife. Very simply put and high level. A lot of the good things here is I do appreciate the attention to detail with the crowned spine, crown, geared back spacer with lanyard hole, not prioritizing the pocket clip with even this little of real estate. A lot of knife makers out there need to take note of this, Vosteed. So you can see that you can get this pocket clip all the way back on the back of the blade for the ideal deep carry scenario, and then the wire clip here allows you to carry this lefty or righty, even though it is right hand frame lock. I didn't try this left-handed. You can get it, but you got to make sure you don't squeeze too much. You got to give it just enough grip to be able to reverse it, and then it does slightly increase the detent. Ironically, I'm having an easier time deploying this left-handed. Ooh, I slipped off of there, so you can see it can do that, and then yep, you can thumb flick it. So I am very surprised by that, and that does help the score a little bit here. You do have magnet cut, although I don't know what the heat treat is. I think I've seen 60 to 62 for other Giant Mouse knives. I don't know that this is the case with this one. Okay, access to the lock bar, good, not great. Very long trailing point, so very good blade to handle ratios. You do have this one with it being solid lockup, favoring the show side here a little bit, and you do have ceramic bearings. You're getting almost a full four-finger grip. I'll give that a pass, honestly, for being a gents knife. The jimping lands really good for me. Again, you got a lot of real estate out here at the tip, even having that being in the middle there. And then if you don't use that, just resting your thumb here on the frame to use it works nicely. And it did surprisingly well, with the detail cut, the trace cut. I thought it would be worse because of the tip, but it's so sharp and dainty that you don't have to go up very high. So I was able to kind of, instead of going way up, I was kind of able to use this to drag along. And it's such a dainty and acute tip that it really worked for that detail work. So I appreciated that as well. You know what I didn't check? I think it's T8 in the pivot, and I think it's T8 pocket clip, but I believe, nope, T8 hardware all the way around. So again, that is a huge plus in my opinion for this one in particular. Now the last thing on here, I will say the price on this one is approaching 300. That was a little bit of a shocker for this, even though I do recognize that it is magnet cut and it is all titanium. And I just got that acute tip to poke me right on the pinky while I was trying to close it. That is one of the things you just need to be cautious and careful with all the time. But, the price point on this one holds me back a little bit, especially when you have stuff out here like the Nip lights, the Lushes, things like that being offered out there and done very well, by the way, with materials like S9EV titanium, and you're getting fat carbon and some sort of carbon fiber inlay, which I think is a bonus because it's the extra milling and materials that you have on here, for under 200 and sometimes even under 150 when we're talking about the nips. If you're looking for something office carry, date night, gent-esque, this is uniquely designed and again, very thin profile. So I'm thinking this for me, I'm probably going to go with materials, build quality, functionality, and everything on this, knowing that it's not my style knife. I think I'm landing 7.4 on this one. So 7.4 the score for the Giant Mouse Bleeker. Not bad, right? Solid score. I think getting the heat treat up on there would be nice. I think just a little bit better lock bar access. I think you probably could leave a little bit more material on the frame over here to gain that without having to make it any taller and still keeping it fairly gent-esque. But again, it does work, and I wish it would be centered. Did I check to see if this will Zeus? No, it's definitely tightly done, and I don't want to mess with it too much, and it's just ever so slightly, ever so slightly off. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at with the score. Let me know if you agree and what you think about the Bleeker. Is it for you or is it not? If you're not interested in this one, just say hey in the comments down below and let me know what you're carrying today. And if you enjoyed on your way out, a like would be appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and follow along. A special thank you to my channel members. I really appreciate you. I love you all, and I hope you have a fantastic week, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.